Someone woke up with an attitude.
Cancel culture is cancelled.
You know what woke means? It means you're a loser.
Why do you think you haven't been cancelled yet? I don't know. What's being cancelled?
Wake up.
Welcome back for another edition of the Woke What Cancel This podcast, where we stretch the limits of free speech. Because you know what? We live in the U.S. It's a land of opportunity, so they say. It's a land where we have free speech, so they say. But yet there are people out there that still try to cancel us because they don't want us to basically share our views. They don't want to give us the platform to speak freely about things, especially if they're sensitive things for sensitive people. Well, you know what I got to say about that? Because here, we pretty much do what we want to do. And what we do is we give you the facts, we offer up our opinion, and then we invite you to form your own opinion because as humans, we're allowed to do that. That's the cool thing, right? So for those of you that don't like my podcast, I say, go ahead. Try to cancel me. It's not going to happen. All right, today's episode, we're going to highlight several different things. Every once in a while, I like to do an episode that doesn't focus just on one thing in the world because you know what? There's so many different things going on right now that it literally can make your head spin. A prime example of this would be the presidential election. You know, next year, it's going to be an absolute freaking mess. Maybe then I'll tackle that. But we're going to talk about something a little bit better than the presidential election. We're going to talk about artificial intelligence because let's face it, we are inside an AI arms race right now. We've all seen Terminator. We know what can happen with this crap. Yet we are going full steam ahead to see who can create the craziest robot out there. And honestly, robots, they could go full Terminator. Scientists have actually created realistic self-healing skin. How dangerous is this? Because they're putting it on robots as we speak. The skin can be punctured, it can be cut, it can heal itself. So let me ask you this. If they're creating this for robots right now, and they're using it on these robots, why can't they do something like that for human skin? Our skin. Oh, no, wait a minute. We're not worth it. But the robots actually are. So, yeah, cyborg, assassins, Terminator crap, it's all coming your way. And the bad part about artificial intelligence is it's been around for years. Let's face it, I have an Alexa device in my home. She is AI. All right, you're using a Google Watch, anything along that. It's artificially intelligent. It comes up with human emotions, human feelings. You can ask Alexa anything. You can tell her to kiss your ass, and she's either going to come up with something witty to say, or she's going to do one of those doo-doo because she doesn't know what to come up with. So, yeah, they're artificially intelligent. They're not 100% great, but they're there. The role of artificial intelligence has been long debated in military communities, but it's out there. Right now, China is kicking our asses. And honestly, here's the thing. There have been so many different things going on in the government right now to try to slow down the pace of AI, to basically try to create groups that can harness it before it becomes too big. And have you noticed that all of this has really blown up like in the past few months? Everybody is trying to race to the finish line with the most sophisticated weapon systems out there. The bad part about this is that if you put these things on the net and you give weapon systems full control, something bad is going to happen. This could be, and I honestly do feel that way, the end of humanity. Basically, man is destined to kill themselves. That's what we're here for, folks. We're trying to control the weather. We are basically making the world overpopulated. We are using up all of our resources. The end of the world is going to come at man's hands. And if you're sitting back saying, you know what, I can't do anything about it, you're absolutely right. because you or I can't do anything about it. So basically, the only thing we can do is let the government take the reins on this, which basically means we're all and we pretty much want to kiss our asses goodbye. So there you go. Is something going to happen in our lifetime? Well, you never know. They're saying that AI could actually get crazy enough that it could literally take over the planet in about another 100 years. Well, for you and I, we will not be alive to see that happen, but our kids and their grandkids could. And honestly, to tell you the truth, I am scared shitless about what our kids are going to have to put up with as they go through life. And maybe that's a reason why, people are having less and less children now, because they don't want them to have to grow up in this crazy ass world. Oh, by the way, just in case you didn't know, the company that is leading the race for AI, it's Microsoft. Microsoft is behind just about all of the AI-driven projects throughout the world right now. And if you didn't know what a military AI arms race is, it's between two or more states to develop and deploy lethal autonomous weapon systems, or laws. And since the mid-2010s, many analysts have noted that emergence of such an arms race between global superpowers for better military AI, driven by increasingly geopolitical and military tensions. An AI arms race is sometimes placed in the context of an AI Cold War between the U.S. and China. It's going on right now. It's something, because you know what's going to happen. China, they have so much technology over there. China is sitting back right now saying, oh, we've got this in the bag. We're going to kick their asses all over the map. So what's happening now is the U.S. is getting involved and saying, all right, we've really got to come up with something, because if they're going to build and deploy these weapon systems over there in China, we got to have a counteroffensive. And then, we've got Russia sitting there on the back burner just waiting and waiting and waiting. They're together with China. They've formed their own little super PAC over there saying, wait a minute, we've got two big-ass superpowers over here, and we're going to gang up on the U.S. because it's only a matter of time till something like that happens. So what they're going to do is they're going to throw up Skynet, remember that from Terminator? And they're going to give it full control. Nuclear missile silos are going to be artificially intelligent. We're not going to need man in the silos anymore, because, there are some men out there that say, wait a minute, if we turn this key, that's going to be the end of civilization, because they're going to send up the nukes, we're going to send up the nukes, boom, everybody is gone. You're not even going to have time to get to a fallout shelter. So it's pretty crazy when you think about it. But AI technology has so many great attributes to it that weapons is just one of them. And I'm really fearful about how bad it's going to be when we actually go down that road, because it's starting now. And again, we may not see the full development in our lifetime, but our kids and grandkids are definitely going to have to worry about that. But if you look on the other front, AI technology is becoming big in the medical field. It can detect cancers better than any human out there. So there are advances that are totally legit. But you know as well as I do that that's not the only thing it's going to be used for. Big Brother is going to be watching even more. We're going to have robots taking over. Hell, how many of you actually have a Roomba running around your house right now? It's a robot. It's artificial intelligence. Or what about one of the lawnmowers that's out there doing that? Next thing you know, you're going to wake up and the damn thing is going to be at the foot of the bed saying, you know what? I am coming for your ass. These are all things that we have to look forward to. It's a scary situation, but all right, so that was just a little tidbit. We spent less than 10 minutes talking about artificial intelligence, but you get the general idea. A lot of you have it in your homes already. A lot of people do believe that the Alexa devices, Google Nest, stuff like that, it's another way for Big Brother to listen into our conversations. And yeah, you're probably right. We don't know all the things that Alexa or Google or Nest or anything like that or the Ring doorbell can do. But I will tell you that We open our arms to it. We welcome it into our homes. So maybe the people that stay 100% off the grid, away from computers and everything else in between, have the best ideas out there. Who knows? All right, so the second subject I want to touch on today is, and this is such a sore subject, government spending. How many of you all actually know where your tax dollars go? Because America, again, we're right now with a capital F-U-C-K. It's sad because not too long ago, we thought maybe there was going to be a government shutdown and it was going to cause a whole bunch of problems through the U.S. It was all over the news. People were so worried about it. Oh my God, my Social Security payments weren't going to get in on time. My disability payments weren't going to get in on time. Government was going to shut down. National parks were going to be closed. Yep, again, everything was going to hell in a handbasket. But here's the thing. We can send so many millions and billions of dollars overseas to someplace like Ukraine. But yet over here in the U.S., they're saying we're running out of money. We're going to be out of money by this date. How the hell does that happen? How does it happen? We keep adding to the deficit. The money just keeps on going to all these other places instead of keeping it in the U.S. I was reading this story on Fox News the other day, and it kind of totally pissed me off. Progressive Texas judge actually suggests illegal immigrants receive universal basic income. Are you serious? How the hell can you even hold a public office when you work for the public and you're sitting there saying you want to give illegal immigrants universal basic income when we have vets that are sitting on the streets homeless, when we have our own people that need some help because, let's face it, not everybody can have a multi-million-dollar job. And yet you want to give people that just come across the border illegally income from taxes that you paid into the state. How is this possible? How is this even right? Why do we elect people to office that do stupid shit like this? Harris County judge, her name is Linda Hidalgo, and she claims that illegal immigrants could receive a universal basic income based on several different things. And it's called the Uplift pilot program. It's set by Harris County Democrats, and it would allocate $20.5 million of American Rescue money and pay out $500 monthly to approximately 1,500 families for 18 months. Again, these are coming from Democrats. I'm just saying, if you want to see who is destroying the U.S., look no further than Democrats. They want to make everybody their friend. Who doesn't want to have friends? But there's a right and wrong way to do it. But can you believe that, though? What a slap in the face to Texas residents. I can't go on anymore on that. I really can't, because my blood is starting to boil with all of these a-holes in office doing this stuff day in and day out. And let's face it, the president himself, not really a model guy. I'm sorry. Biden recently vetoed a bill canceling his $400 billion student loan handout. All right. You know what? When I decided to go to tech school to become an electrical engineer, I had to pay out of my pocket. I got grants, I got loans to do it. I took the initiative. If you go to school, you are doing that based on what you want. That is your choice. It shouldn't be left up to the taxpayers to pay and bail you out because you decided to go to school. It's your choice. What about all these people with medical bills? I'm just saying, if we have a $400 billion student loan handout bill, what about these people that have to go through cancer and chemo and radiation, and the cancer drugs are astronomically high that nobody can afford to pay them? And you're basically sitting there giving up your home and everything in between just to be able to pay for your health bills. But yet we want to give universal basic income to immigrants. We want to give $400 billion in student loan handouts because, they can't afford to pay the money back. Seriously? Seriously? Why don't we help people where it really needs to be done? Like with medical bills, it's ridiculous. People can't afford their prescriptions. But we're spending money on stupid crap like this. And that brings me to another episode of why the U.S. government wastes so much frickin' money. The U.S. has actually lost almost $2.4 trillion in simple payment errors over the last 2 decades. But yet, we're still wondering, what? We're going to shut down the government because we're running out of money? Somebody needs to audit the government and find out how much crap they're spending money on. And the U.S. government wastes billions of tax dollars every single year. But do we have the ability to say, wait a minute, we are going to take you for a ride, Mr. President, because you can't take care of our money. We don't want to give it to you any longer. That's the one thing I will say that I do enjoy living in New Hampshire is we don't have any local or state income tax. We do have to pay federal tax dollars, but honestly, to tell you the truth, that's why it's live free or die here in New Hampshire. If there was a way I could get out of paying federal taxes, I would so do it because they don't deserve any of our money. Improper payments, by the way, which refer to payments that are made incorrectly by the government, cost us $247 billion in 2022. That's according to the Government Accountability Office. The U.S. government has lost almost $2.4 trillion. Now, it's not just a federal government thing. Local governments across the U.S. are spending your money stupidly as well. Check this out. The city of San Francisco wasted over $20,000 on a trash can. $20,000. Between 2003 and 2017, the Washington Metropolitan Area Transit Authority spent at least $416,789 maintaining a self-cleaning toilet. In 2008, California taxpayers agreed to spend $9 billion on a high-speed rail project that would run from San Fran to L.A., cost $33 billion in total. It was supposed to be operational by 2020. In 2019, the Illinois legislature allocated $98 million to a project that would research and implement a way to reduce the noise trains make when they stop. I'm serious. In 2016, Pima County, Arizona officials agreed to loan $15 million to a company that wanted to send tourists to the stratosphere in specially modified weather balloons. Oh my God, you can't make this crap up. But these are some of the things that we are dealing with our government. And that's why I say again, America, we are f***ed with a capital F-U-C-K-E-D. Life is not going to get any easier for any of us. We see that every single day with the amount of money the government is wasting, with the increase in artificial intelligence, with the craziness of the weather. And still a lot of people don't believe that we are in a climate catastrophe. But we absolutely are. It's a proven fact. You can't, denounce science. Science is there. It's based on fact. But the sad part about the human race is that we end up becoming sheep. We end up following the rest of the flock. We follow the government. We follow the news. We follow other mass media moguls because that's what we're being programmed to do. But what if we held the government accountable for all of this stuff? The problem is we're voting every year. I mean, I'm sorry, but you can't tell me that Joe Biden actually won the election free and clear. I fail to believe that. And you're probably saying, oh, he's a MAGA Republican. Yes, I did vote for Trump. But that doesn't mean I am fully aboard the Trump train. There are things that he did that was great. There are bad things, too. Joe Biden? Yeah, one of the worst presidents in the U.S. He is destroying America. But are we going to stand up against him? Are we going to stand up and say, hey, let's slow down artificial intelligence. Let's stop this government spending. Not as long as we keep allowing people like this in power. The bad part about it is, as the American public in general, if we don't start standing up for the land that we live in, if we don't start saying enough is enough, it's going to be too late. We're already almost there. And that's why, again, America is fucked. When you think of how many different things are going wrong in the world right now, even in the U.S., just in the U.S., it's mind-boggling. We're letting biological males in women's sports. We used to cradle our young. We used to protect our young. Now we're letting them go to drag time story hour. We're letting people come into schools and dress our kids up in drag. We are saying that, oh, hey, it doesn't matter who you are. You can flaunt your sexuality. We're teaching kids sex in kindergarten and first grade. Why can't we let kids be kids? Why can't we do that? There are so many different things that are causing the demise to the American way of life. And it's running rampant. And it scares the hell out of me. And it should you too. Am I staying up all hours of the day worrying about this? Am I sitting there saying, you know what? I'm going to worry myself to death? No, not really. It bothers me. But there's only so much I can do about it. There's only so much you can do about it. But if we stand together as the human race, we can make a lot of cool change, right? Let your voice be heard at the ballot box. Let your voice be heard in the 2024 election, because something has to be done. We need to be able to grab America by the balls and say, we've got this. And if that means that we got to take the government down to the rafters and rebuild it from the ground up, then so be it. Because here's the thing that I really believe in. I really believe we are heading for another American revolution. And this time, it's going to be the American people against the American government. Not North and South. It's going to be the American people against the government. And the government is going to get a rude awakening. January 6th is a precursor, folks. I'm not saying this for you to be scared. I'm just saying that's a precursor. American public, you stood up that time. Are you going to do it again? Of course, you don't have to make such a big deal out of it like they did on January 6th. There are so many different ways to let your voice be heard and to get that out there. You should be doing that. Think of ways. Get a hold of your congressman or woman. Let them know your thoughts. Let your voice be heard in public schools. Let the government know. I've sent an email to President Joe Biden. I know he probably didn't get it because I got a generic letter back that really didn't highlight anything that I sent in to him, but I let my voice be heard. I got a hold of our local senators here in New Hampshire, and I told them about different things, and I got some personalized responses back. So it's out there. Use your voice. Your voice is your biggest asset when it comes to dealing with the crooked politicians in the U.S., whether it's local governments, national governments, or your school board. Get out there, do it. I know you can. All right, thanks again for joining us for another edition of the Woke What Cancel This podcast. Just a reminder, our opinions are ours. Everything is based on fact. Do your research. Check it out on the internet. Use your knowledge. That is the most important thing that we can have. Check us out, Woke What Cancel This on YouTube and Facebook, all one word. You never know what we're going to be talking about next. And remember, America, stand up. You have the freedom of speech, the freedom of expression. Exercise it every single day. Till next time.